fast track. The fans attack the place again. Round 2 of the chase in green.
Tony Stewart spins in turn 4. Up against the wall. Takes Casey Kane with him.
That thing's all screwed up. Might as well go into the garage.
What's going on with the 5 car?
Blowing up, boys. Blowing up.
We're done.
Pat Kenson went on pit road as the leader, but he comes out in 20th place.
Now he has worked his way back to the front.
I just don't feel well, man. I'm not 100%. I'm just really weak.
Junior sideways over there between 3 and 4. Kenseth's in trouble. Kenseth's off the pace. A masterful drive to victory lane on the Monster Mile this afternoon. Yes! Yes! Good job, guys.
Hello, everyone. Hello, drivers. Welcome to Inside Nextel Cup. I'm Dave Despain. 400 laps of the Monster Mile at Dover, the Dover 400 on the agenda for tonight. Guys, I'd like to kick this off with a question. Same question for each of you. Driver of the GMAC Chevy, Brian Vickers, the high point of your Dover weekend.
Wow. Let me think about
Wheels
this for
up.
a minute. Wheels up would be pretty close to it. I think we were 15th when we qualified, and that was pretty good. No, we worked our way up there for a little bit, and then the car just got really tight and fell back. And then there at the end, we were working our way back towards the front, and we changed 4 tires. And I thought that the car got really tight, and come to find out it did. We had a tire going down.
Wow.
That's like 6 blown tires in 4 weeks for us. That's bad luck.
Don't you look where you're going? I mean, you just run right over that stuff?
I think so. I mean, I think there's a magnet in my tires that are attracted to any debris that'll cut them down.
I'm not sure what the high point of that was. I'm not sure I heard one. How about you, Kenny Schrader? Little Debbie Ford, highest finisher on the panel for the weekend, 19th high point of the weekend.
That tells you there's not many high points on this panel. But our weekend started out really bad in the Little Debbie Ford, and Michael McSwain kept working on it. And as the race went on, it kept getting better. It took a long time to get better, and we're about 2/3 the way through, because Mike and I raced together forever. And
You made yours better, and I made mine worse.
yeah. But anyway, go across the finish line. He said, "Okay, it's not pretty. It's 19th." I said, "19th? I missed the part where you got the gun out. How'd you steal 19th? You know, kind of surprised us."
You didn't think you were going to be that good. Napa Dodge, Michael Waltrip, high point of the weekend?
Qualifying. We got to qualify on time, and it was a good lap, and we made the race. And then, you know, Saturday morning, I told Tommy the only thing my car didn't seem to want to do was turn left, and darn it.
That's at a track like Dover. That's
You really
well,
need
just
them.
about any of our tracks.
Yeah, you really need them to do that. It stopped well, and it went well. It's just that left part.
That left part was
and
difficult.
so as these guys will back me up on, you know, when you got one that won't turn, it doesn't matter how much you loosen it up. All you do is don't turn, and then you about spin out. So
Yeah.
we just went all over the place. Tommy and the boys did a great job adjusting it. We just never hit it. We probably were the best when the race started, and just worked and worked to try to make it better, and made it worse.
I know he's trying to say, too, because I always get people ask me, it's like, okay, you kept making the car looser. It ought to be turning now. I said, no, now you got the front end where it's still cut to the left, but the back end's coming around, so it's not better.
And that's not a good feeling at Dover, for sure. They're telling me we need to move on to the Bud Pole Award. Jeff Gordon's first pole in 47 races. That's the longest pole dry spell in his career,
Poor
which
guy.
is somewhat remarkable. And perhaps equally remarkable that when they actually did throw the green flag, he didn't lead a lap. He could have used those 5 bonus points, but failed to get them. And so with that, we'll go to the action. Green flag goes in the air for a rain-threatened but ultimately not affected race.
Well, Jeff, he sat on the pole, and then in both practices on Saturday, he was down in the 30s. So I know he was concerned about how his car was going to run. Ryan gets around him there early, and
Ryan's always really good on restarts. And he's a good qualifier. He's good to just get after it for a couple laps.
There are 10 cautions on the day, and the first 2 came real quick, and one of them had really big implications for one of our championship contenders. So we'll go ahead and get to the ugliness, starting with Michael.
Well, you see, no, I didn't wreck, but I'm going to show you who did. That's Travis, and you might say, why is Travis way up there? That's because he started wrecking back before we caught up with him, but then it spun down in the inside wall. Man, that was easy to do on Sunday. The cars and the tires, just you saw everybody slipping and sliding. And it just
That
got away
guy's
from
really, really good, and he did it.
I got a good view of that one. We went off in the corner side by side, and I didn't feel like I was real close to him, and it just I saw him start to come around on my inside, and he just spun out.
And Casey says, why now, why me?
Casey was so innocent.
Yeah.
He had a car on the inside of him. He sees Tony spinning, and I'm telling you, Dave, it seemed like an eternity before they hit, I bet, because he was saying, I've got to get under him, I've got to get under him. Couldn't do it.
Give a listen.
First one's under me, and I had nowhere. I couldn't go anywhere. 10-4, man. Not your fault, not anybody's fault, just racing. Just fix it, do the best we can with it the rest of the day.
Last week, the champion talked about how nerve-wracking it is to race the guys in the chase. First time he's not been in it, knowing that you could affect the outcome. And this week, that's exactly what happens. Will his argument that there needs to be some sort of different race for the chase guys get any hearing or gain any traction, do you think?
No, I doubt it. I mean, I think that's, I understand what he's saying. He's nervous that something like what happened Sunday could happen, and he feels bad for it, but it's a race. It's 43 guys out there like it's always been. You can't have a race with 10 guys and a race with 33 guys. That'd be pretty boring.
Yeah.
Could you do the points like that, though?
You could do the points that way
You
if
could
you
do the points like that.
chose to. You could have just a point system for the 10 chasers and point system for the other 33 guys.
Because they're only racing themselves.
They're only racing each other, and what it does is when a cat like Casey Kane and Kyle Busch have such terrible races, it takes them right out of the championship in 2 races. So if those guys raced against one another, I think that's something that should be considered, but we certainly all need to race together.
But at the same time, I think that the point system can't be too close. I think if they have their own point system, the difference between finishing first, second, and third out of that group, if it's too close and you go into Miami and there's still 10 guys that can win the championship, you might as well flip a quarter. I mean, there's got to be some kind of separation.
Somewhere in the middle, maybe the compromise could be found. Tony will continue to lobby for that, I'm sure. We need a commercial break at that point. We will take that now and then come back on the other side. Talk about the Roush rookie David Reagan, a difficult Dover. We'll have an eyewitness account. Jimmy Johnson loses a wheel but gains a spot in the points. And when it was all over, Matt Kenseth thought Dover was the pits.
Inside Nextel Cup is presented by Nextel. Get closer to the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series with Nextel, only from Sprint. Brought to you in part by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR. Pick Enterprise, we'll pick you up. And by Parts Plus, America's family of auto parts stores and service centers.
We're back. I love the driver reactions when I see those wrecks for the first time. Mark Martin's number 6 car. Next year, the future of that car very much in doubt. Rookie David Reagan got in that car in replacement of Todd Cleaver this week and had an opportunity to try out the big leagues. And Kenny, I guess you ought to tell us about this one.
Yeah, I noticed that we all got on the same color britches.
What happens here? Okay, there's the 06, and this is the 21, which I was driving. And at that particular point, I got right up behind him, took the spoiler off, the air off the spoiler, and then I run into him.
Did he back?
And
Did he back up?
I'm just glad he didn't hit anything. I didn't mean that. He was a little bit wobbly, and I finished him off.
But you're sure he didn't back up?
I hit him.
No, and let me tell you something, and I'm all for a guy saying I hit him and spun him out and I hate it. That's what Schrader said. That's perfect. But
he didn't hit nothing.
David didn't hit anything.
I let him get 4 new tires.
And then it looked like to me, if you study the video, it looked like the thing got a little loose right when Schrader hit him. And it definitely got loose after.
But I guarantee it got loose when I hit him.
Does anybody care to guess who will be in the 6 car next year? I mean, it
won't be Mark.
No, it won't be Mark. I think that's probably about all we know for sure.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a 6 car?
Oh, I believe so. That's what I was told. The 6 with the current sponsorship.
I hit David Gilliland, and he saved it, and I was so happy. Man, you hate it when you bump into somebody.
Plus a guy that's wrecked every week he's been out there. It's nice to see him. Oh, God. All right, well, let's move on. Last week, Kyle Busch's first chase ever. Where are we? Over here. Got off to a rough start. 2 crashes at Loudon. We're going to check in with the 5. The Nextel Fan Scan audio replay sounds like this.
Send a IM to the 24. Their overfill deal stuck open, spitting out gas. Hey, bud, I know we're nitpicking you here, but Josh said you're just a little bit too early on putting in gear. That spun our tires for us. So just next time, wait just a split second.
What are they talking about?
I'm not sure. What did he say there?
He said he stuck it in gear before the left rear guy was done. Even though he had his foot on the brake, you stick it in gear and it moves the tire.
Yeah. When do you stick it in gear?
I stick it while the car's on all 4 tires on the ground.
No, I stick it when they're running around.
While they're running
That's
around.
when I do.
Yeah. That's what I try to do, but I get reminded every now and then that I didn't do something right, too. That's just normal operating procedure, and I'd like to say thank you, David, for saving that car.
But
I mean, I'm not a stable person. That would really have messed me up.
Well,
You're on top of everything today, though.
I am. About not
Especially
being
not
stable.
being very stable, yeah.
I knew you were going to say it. See, I know sometimes what you're going to say before you do. We might ought to start dating.
Yeah.
we'll move on. Let's check out some of the action up front and also see how Brian Vickers got some TV time during that period he mentioned when the car was actually pretty good and going forward.
Did you stay out?
At one point in time, we did.
And you got right up in the front.
Got right in the mix of it.
Carl Edwards, who's never cared much for Dover, leads with about 28 here, getting around Newman. There's Brian, 25 car. Yeah!
Yeah, it got a little loose on me right there. We were loose at that point. We were actually loose before the stopping, and we tried 2 tires, and that didn't tighten it up any.
But 6th at the time, that's not bad.
But no, not too bad.
Racing around your teammates there.
Yep.
Lap 73, Kenseth takes the lead for the first time, goes around Sadler, who led after a 2-tire pit stop. Kenseth won in June by not stopping. Was it my imagination, or did this race really lend itself to lots of interesting strategy, more so than usual?
I think so.
It was fascinating to watch.
Well, anytime the caution falls right at the edge of a like 10 or 15 laps after a green flag, a previous caution, you get guys doing different things. And then anytime it falls right at the edge of the pit window to get to the finish, which it did twice, it fell at 400 and then it fell at 410, thereabout, and people had decisions to make.
And also, when Goodyear brings us a good tire that wears out just enough that new tires are a little better, but also maintains long enough that you can stay out or take 2 tires if you so choose. It gives you a lot of options. It's not like going to Darlington where you always put 4 tires on every time the caution comes out.
That's one thing I really like about the Busch Series having a tire rule is you have to use your brain. You know, you can't just throw 4 tires on it no matter.
Who does that for you?
Would you quit being mean to me?
Okay.
I'm trying to be nice.
He just set it up there. I couldn't. I'm sorry.
You have to understand what you got, and you got to use it to get to the finish of the race. And I think it makes it more entertaining if you don't have
this
just
weekend
unlimited
was pretty
tires.
Entertaining, even with unlimited tires.
Well, that's because the tire was good enough to where you didn't just want tires every time.
When you need tires, you got to go to pit road. Pit road at Dover can be a very tricky place. We're going to go through a series of misadventures here, starting with Jimmy Johnson.
Yes, you'll see these 2 tires right here. One of them does not make it back, unfortunately, and it's a shame because Jimmy's pit crew, Jimmy attests, he will attest, they do a great job week in, week out. You see this tire, the one bouncing back, he dropped it to go chase the other. He gets caught by the 45 crew and gets knocked out on pit road.
A lot of people tried to get that tire back, and it didn't want to come back.
Why do these guys risk their lives to go get it?
In the heat of the battle, if they get that tire back into the pit box before Jimmy leaves, there will be no penalty.
No penalty.
But, we were talking about this earlier.
We're going to move on. We'll come back to that, right?
That's Carl Edwards up there, and you see him have to parallel park right now. Just kind of got confused on his pit stop and pit stall and turned in a little bit late.
There's Matt. You know what he's got wrong? Right there. He's over the line.
Right.
Look at that official. You know, if you say, well, he was barely on the line, well, what do you think in football when somebody barely steps on the line, they say, oh, you just scoot over next time, it'll be all right. It's a rule. You can't be on the line.
They they put the right front back on, but they go ahead and change the right rear. And I got a bunch of emails from people saying, well, why are they allowed to do that? They changed the changed the tire with the front outside the box, why weren't they penalized?
Yeah, that's supposed to be a one-lap penalty.
That is supposed to be.
Why that went down, I don't have the answer. I know that maybe they felt like they were penalized enough by having to drop it and back up.
Yeah, because they did put the right front back on, backed it up, and then changed it.
And the tire carrier for the right rear tried to stick it back in there to get it back on before he dropped the jack, and they'd already put the right rear back.
You know what might be the rule? The right front was over the line. They didn't change it, so they let them. They said that's fine.
We need to check on that. Or it could just be
let's go back to the 48 deal.
Yeah, back to the 48. The reason they went and got it is, to try to avoid the penalty. But one thing we were talking about here is, should there be a rule where if it goes out across pit road, there's a penalty no matter what? Because obviously that was an unsafe situation for those guys to be running across pit road, all the cars coming.
Even with the helmets on.
Even with the helmets on. And I guarantee you, as long as they're allowed to go out there and get that tire, they are athletes, like Michael said. They're going to go get that tire.
Oh, yeah. If it means avoiding a penalty, they'll take the risk.
I think we'll suggest on the show today that there's a rule change saying if a tire rolls out in pit road, you're done.
Tail end of the longest line.
Tail end of the longest line, because that's just safe. And NASCAR's probably never seen any two guys, especially, run out in the middle of traffic to get a tire. So
I'm going with you, buddy. Tell you what, you just go get it yourself. I'll wait there for you.
Would you have been like,
go get it, Mike.
All right, here we go. Commercial break, and then we will come back on the other side. And when we come back, these guys apparently didn't have enough trouble last week. It's been a tough chase for the 5 car. And the eventual winner goes 3 wide on the Monster Mile. Back with more on Inside Nextel Cup. Fans, it's been 175 races. How would you like to win the picture of the week? Go to the INC page at speedtv.com. Send us an email with the word picture on the subject line. 1 entry per email address, and you could be the lucky winner. We're going to be talking with Jeff Burton shortly. Right now, we're going to talk about the 8, beginning with the 7. We get a caution here for Robbie Gordon, who smacks the wall.
Trouble.
Right front went down, maybe.
He never returned either. Must have smacked her pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's a break for Elliott Sadler, who also had a tire going down. And Junior has a tire issue, as outlined in the Nextel fan scan audio replay.
Right rear, those 2 inches on the outside, just you're through the fabric. Looks like me and you were talking about in the early 90s when they first concreted, had just wore it off. That's exactly the way it looked.
It's kind of an old story. Some guys have tire issues, others don't.
Well, one thing about the was he outside the box there?
Did you see that video?
No.
It looked like he was outside the box.
Yeah.
I was trying to
That's
figure
what
out.
I was getting ready to comment on.
It was big. It was,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that aerial shot was big.
I was trying to figure out why that monster doesn't have any clothes on. Like he needs
Was it just me, or did you?
No, that's the first thing I thought.
Okay.
I guess we kind of lost the thread as far as the tire issue was concerned.
It's the bigger story.
Video again.
The bigger story is what happened on the box. Oh, you can't tell from that angle,
it's the
y'all.
fisheye lens that makes it
No,
look
that's
like
not
that.
out of bounds. Come on, fellas, you got this thing that everybody's for the 8. Junior! Junior! That's not true. He was in. Y'all lighten up.
Where would we like to pick up the action? I'll ask the voices in my head.
Inconclusive.
The video's inconclusive,
The video's
they tell
inconclusive.
me. Should we move on to Kyle Busch, or you want to talk more about those tires?
Tire wear is just our cambers are so critical that sometimes you just miss it a little bit one way or the other. You got a tire problem.
Yeah. Let's move on to Kyle Busch.
We move on to Kyle Busch. Second straight week, Kyle Busch winds up in the garage area early. Nextel fan scan audio replay tells us how it happens, or at least gives us some kind of.
Blowing up, boys. It's blowing up. Stay up there, stay up there. Get up, get up, get up. All right, come down. Coming to you. Garage.
Garage. That pretty well sums it up.
That means she bowed up.
224 points out in 2 races.
Well, and those motors don't break either.
No.
They race, what, 5 or 6 of them a weekend, and you never hear one breaking.
We love side-by-side racing. 3 wide is even better. The question, as we watch the eventual winner go 3 wide, is how white knuckle is 3 wide at Dover compared to anywhere else.
3 wide at Dover's, I mean, you're definitely holding on. You're holding your breath, especially when you go off into the corner.
It depends on which guy you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is best?
The one on the bottom.
The
The
inside.
fastest guy.
Yeah. But David in the M&M car, just heads up there. He knew that if he just checked up a little bit, let him go, he'd be fine.
Looked like the 41 won, did he?
Yes.
There was caution for debris. Sorensen leads the race off pit road. Good all day, ran out of gas at the end for what, the third time this year?
He ran out of gas somewhere a couple weeks ago, really strong.
Yeah, California, I think.
Cali.
And I think he had one more prior to that.
I like seeing that car up there, though. Reed's getting it done.
Yeah.
Understanding what it takes to be there all day long.
Yeah.
It's kind of quietly made himself a threat. And why are y'all all looking at me?
Think he'd explain it to us?
I thought he was carrying the ball pretty nicely.
I thought you had it there at one time, but it just got away from you.
It's a slippery little devil.
Darn it!
Commercial break coming. We'll be back on the other side with the proverbial nice piece of driving by Sterling Marlin. Some people wish that had been a caution right there. And we'll also have a green flag stop to replace a flat tire. That's never a good thing.
To the line, they had to push him back. He will lose a ton of track position here on pit road.
And Matt Kenseth did not pit. What?
Kenseth's in trouble. Kenseth is off the pace.
Really killed it, you guys. This is stupid.
A little synopsis of Matt Kenseth's day. So far, we've seen Casey Kane and Kyle Busch, both with championship troubles. We're going back to the action with a near miss that some guys wish had been a caution. Starring in this one will be Sterling Marlin.
There were other guys that wish there wasn't a caution. So every time there's a caution, you either think there should have been or shouldn't have been.
It averages out. You're on board with the rookie here.
One heck of a save, but I'm sure that wall helped a lot.
I wonder what happened there. Did he? I mean, he's going down the straightaway.
You know what? It looked like David Stremme had a really good run coming off the corner, and he pulled out the pass and just caught his just nicked his left rear bumper enough to put him in the wall.
This is Biffle pitting under green. He needed that caution flag and didn't get it. Kenseth inherits the lead.
16's down low here, getting ready to pit. Right here he is, and you are the leader now. Take it back.
That's good news.
Shake your head. What happened there, a lot of the guys, there was a group of them that stayed out with about 19, 20 laps on their tires.
Yep.
And then the long green flag run came, and they ended up having to pit. Jimmy was one of them as well. Had to pit under green right before the caution came out.
Jimmy was running second or third.
He was running second.
Biffle, Sadler, Johnson, Martin, and McMurray.
See, you knew what happened, but he had studied and even knew who it was.
Yeah. So we were kind of a team.
You were.
That was hey, shake and bake.
Junior's tire problems continue as the video rolls, and they continue to holler in our ear, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. So we're doing that. Lap 281. Junior stops for a flat right front, comes out 28, 2 laps down.
Uh-oh.
But clearly inside the box.
Clearly inside the box.
They moved the camera.
Let's see. We haven't had a fire all day. Better have a fire if you want to be on TV.
Why does he wreck?
I believe we had a right front tire go down.
Looks like that whole bright
middle of the back
You
straightaway.
can tell by how flat the car is.
Let's talk about it. Let's get the car fixed. Get the best finish we can get it. All right, don't put me out on new tires no more. If you want to loosen it up, I might be wrecking at the start, but whatever you want to do. Hit for it. Thank you.
Sounds like to me they're having a little bit of communication issues on this day because they were, do whatever you want to do. Okay, thank you.
Possible indecision there.
And plus, I heard after the race where Junior said, man, we got to do better. And, you know, that's obvious.
Yeah. The timing of that caution proved to be critical for 2 guys in particular. 101 laps to go. Kenseth and Sorensen both come in and get themselves some tires and fuel. And 101 to go, obviously is very close to the window. Kenseth wants to know if he is good to go on fuel. Here they come in and get their service, which in Kenseth's case will prove to be the last.
All right,
Give a listen.
How far are we away, Rob? Just so I got some idea here. Let's see. I've been idle around here pretty good. Okay, if it's a green white checker, I'm in trouble. If it's not, I'm okay. Okay, so you're telling me I can run hard 95 laps, or okay? Well, I used your head. I'm right there. You know what I mean? Okay.
Anything to add?
He was.
He was right.
He was right there.
Right there, close.
He knew.
He said he had an electrical problem.
Don't.
Yeah, it wouldn't. See, all the electric wouldn't make no power without no gas.
No, I mean, prior to that,
He was racing Burton.
He said that's why
fans.
Burton was catching him.
Oh, well, that was one heck of a race when they were going at it.
It was.
We'll get to that. There will be 2 more chapters, actually, to the Kenseth story. We need a break before we get to that. We will come back on the other side. And and confirm the fact that the winner of the last 2 races will not win this one. Instead, it's the top cat in this inspired 2-man battle who makes his way to a rainy victory lane. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're reviewing the Dover 400 with Vickers, Schrader, and Waltrip. Thanks
My
for
favorite
noticing.
paper.
We're going to take a talk with the winner of the race. Jeff Burton's going to join us shortly. We promised you 2 more chapters in the Matt Kenseth story. Here is the first of those 2 chapters.
When are we going to get some more chapters in the junior story? Junior!
I think we may be done with the junior story.
Hey,
Yaley spins.
I got a good view of that.
You know, he really got lucky there to spin at Dover and only nick the right rear quarter. It's pretty good.
Most of these guys pitting, but Kenseth and Kurt Busch and Reed Sorensen do not. Hamlin stayed out of trouble all day, but he has a different problem.
I just don't feel well, man. I'm not 100%.
In fourth, 75 laps left.
We have to pit again. Do you want an Alka-Seltzer like you had at that other track? No, my stomach's fine. It's just my head is pounding and I'm just really weak.
I talked to Dale Jarrett after the race yesterday, and we were thinking that because of what Brian was talking earlier, the track's rough. I mean, you really have a workout to run a race at Dover. After the race, you know, your head's on that headrest a lot of times, and it confuses your eyeballs.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hold your head to the left because if you get it against the rest,
It gets really rough.
Yeah. Reiser, Kenseth's crew chief, beating himself up pretty bad in the post-race quotes for not stopping on that pit stop and ultimately running out of gas.
Yeah, but he's leading. What do you know? If you think he's thinking, if I stop and everybody else stays out, what do I do? So that's a tough call. He had the toughest. He was in the toughest situation.
Yeah. He made the call he thought was right at the time.
Hindsight is 20/20. I mean, he very well could have stayed out and won a race.
What's that mean when they say that? Hindsight's 20?
That means when you look back, your vision's always 20/20.
It's always perfect.
It's always perfect.
view.
I need to start.
Where if you look ahead, things could be.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's
move on.
That's a great idea. 60 to go. The RCR team have an awful lot going on. Some good and a lot bad. We'll start with the good. Jeff Burton's car coming in nicely. That's for second. And here's the bad. Well, somewhere up here.
That car starts giving up the ghost, as they say. You know what that means?
No.
Braking.
Harvick is in trouble. He's on 7 cylinders and getting worse. And at the same time, Boyer, running 5th, also goes on 7 cylinders.
Well, they're giving the guys the same equipment. It's easy to see.
Yeah.
Except for Jeff.
It does leave the question of what about that third car?
Well, I mean,
He had to worry.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely worried, considering two already messed up. But
Boyer still finished the top 10, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's still.
It continued to run. Yeah.
I mean, you'll see where team engines, you know, even at Hendrick Motorsports, where we've had a couple go down, it doesn't necessarily mean that every one of them are.
No.
You know, there may be something.
Sometimes a part will just break.
Sometimes a part will just break. Sometimes it's not anybody's fault. It's not who put it together. It's just.
It just happened that
just
2 of them happened on the same lap.
I like giving up the ghost much better than hindsight's 20/20.
We'll make a note of that for future shows.
Yep.
Let's go to the Enterprise turning point of the race. One of the best 2-man battles that we have seen in a long time. Had a couple races, was good stuff. 18 to go. Burton catches Kenseth.
What a fun track, huh, Schrader?
It is. I mean, it's aggravating and everything, but you can't use the track as an excuse that you can't race on it. There's grooves all over that place. You just got to find one that works for you. It's so hard to get a run off the bottom.
Yeah, that happens so many times.
And you know how much respect these guys have for each other. They're racing each other hard but clean, and that's why you see here in this picture behind us these 2 guys shaking hands after the race, because they really enjoyed that battle, and it went right down to the very end.
And then Kenseth out of fuel.
Out of gas. Get ready, guys. Get ready. Hurry up. Oh, darn it, Robbie. This really killed us, you guys. This is stupid.
That's emotion.
That's frustration.
Yeah. That's a cat that had the leader or winner of the race in his sights, and it just got away from him. But he still got a top 10.
Still got a top 10. There were not many cars left on the lead lap.
I didn't run out of gas, nor did I go in 7 cylinders, and I felt great. And I finished 28th. 3 of the guys in the top 10 had all them problems.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
So neat to see Jeff win again.
Yeah.
Since 2001 in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't name
hope for
anybody
us.
who didn't like seeing that.
Yeah.
It was just good. Let's go to the Parts Plus winner's purse. Not so much yellow in that top 10, not as much as we're accustomed to seeing. Those, of course, are the drivers in the chase.
Just a little less than half.
Around 40%, huh, Michael?
Truex, Boyer, and Hamlin are all rookies in the top 10, which is pretty impressive. And on back, Dave Blaney continues a pretty good roll lately. He's 12th.
That's 12th, 9th, and 6th in the last 3 races for Dave. Great runs for him.
Kenny Schrader, 19th. Junior, 21st.
We were not pleased with that kind of performance, but he's run well there in the past.
Yeah, he has. He won in 2001 there. Yep.
Bad days for Casey Kane and Kyle Busch, as documented, and Harvick not a whole lot better. 32nd hurts. And I guess anything we need to add to that before we move on to the standings?
No, let's go.
Top 4 are very, very tight in this championship at this point.
Well, and I will go out on the limb to say that the way Casey Kane streaks, 9 guys are legitimately, realistically still racing for a championship. Kyle's got trouble.
Yeah, I would say.
You ever seen Casey Kane streak? I mean, he gets on one, he'll go.
He figures he's got to win them all from here out. I think that might be.
And Jimmy Johnson as well. We've seen Jimmy in a chase before go on and win 4 or 5 races.
Jimmy's perfect. He's sitting there in great shape.
But if I could be one of them right now, I'd just go ahead and just soon be Jeff Burton. Right now, if I got to be one of them.
Well, but, you know, a lot of people had Jimmy Johnson out last week, and he's not.
And he's not.
So let's...
No, but I'm just saying.
We got through that without saying mulligan, and thank God for that. Earlier today, I talked with yesterday's race winner. That'd be Jeff Burton, and we will have that conversation when Inside Nextel Cup continues. 175 races since we saw this particular scene. We will be right back to hear what Jeff had to say about it. Don't go anywhere.
There's 5, buddy. There's 5. Clear, clear, clear. All right, buddy, drive away from it. Now 5 to go this time. 5 to go.
Little video chronology of how he won the race, and now our Z-Max interview with the man who mastered the monster yesterday. It's a pleasure to welcome Jeff Burton to the television show. Easy for me to say. Hey, Jeff, congratulations. Been a long dry spell. How does career win number 18 feel today?
It feels good. It almost feels like number 1. It's been so long, but you know, just a great day for us. What a great race with Matt, and we just kind of had things go our way. You know, there's been so many races, we've led a lot of laps and hadn't been able to pull it off. And then this week we win and we only led 6 laps. So it was kind of a reversal of how things have been going.
That was my first question. Let's elaborate on that. The car has tended to fade late in the race recently. So what changed? What did you guys do differently yesterday?
Nothing. You know, the reality of it is, I mean, Scott and I have spent very little time discussing or even really kind of worrying about, you know, what has been that trend. It's my opinion that you know, that we've started the races too tight, and if we could find a way to not do that, then we would be better at the end of the race. But to be honest, there were times in the race on Sunday that we weren't nearly as good as we were there in the spring, and I really didn't think we had much of a chance of winning this race going into it. But you know, at the end of the race, my guys stepped up. They had a great pit stop. We gained a few spots there. Scott made a change on the car. Car was the best it was all day at the right time, and then Scott's strategy of pitting that last time obviously was beneficial to us. So everything fell our way.
With 60 to go, both of your teammates are on 7 cylinders. I got to wonder what was going through your mind at that moment about your power plant.
Well, they're under strict orders I'm on a need-to-know basis, and I didn't need to know that. So I saw Harvick, you know, when he was having his trouble because of his trouble, we caught him and passed him, and I knew he was having engine trouble. But really, with the success rate we've had with our engine program here, I looked at that as kind of an isolated incident. But if I'd have known that Boyer was having trouble too, I might not have been able to concentrate quite as well as I needed to.
Concentrate you had to at the end when you caught Kenseth, a 12-lap battle, repeated efforts to pass. Wally Dallenbach kept assuring us on television that you were going to pull off that pass. Was it fun? Was it frustrating? And were you confident that ultimately you'd get by him?
Well, I'm shocked it was only 12 laps. I haven't had a chance to watch a race yet. But are you sure it wasn't 50?
We counted.
Okay. It felt like a whole lot more than that. You know, Matt is such a great race car driver, and you know, I knew the line that Matt was running, which was very similar to the line he ran in the spring and won the race. I watched the tape and I had kind of studied what he did there in the spring, and so I knew that I was going to have a tough time passing because it's so hard when you get underneath the guy at Dover, and I just kept poking it in there and poking it in there, and finally it stuck, and his didn't at that same time, and it just worked out. But, you know, really all I could do is just keep trying to get there with the right momentum at the right time, and that's when I finally did make the pass. What happened was I got a good run off of 4, and I entered the corner closer to him than I had, and that was what made the difference.
Was it fun? Is that kind of racing fun?
Oh yeah, it was great. It's you know, that's what when you're going to sleep at night and you're laying down, you close your eyes and you dream, when you start thinking about, you know, how would I want to win a race? That's how you want to win a race. You want to have a battle with a guy that you have a tremendous amount of respect for. You want to race side by side. You know, it's when I dream of winning races, I dream of that. I don't dream of lapping the field. I don't dream of that. I dream of winning a close battle, and that without a doubt was that.
I need about a 10-second answer. You were a top 5 guy in the points, 5 years running, late in the 90s. You know, 8 races to go. You're leading this championship. What are your chances to pull it out?
Well, I think our chances are good, but I think there's a lot of teams that have a good chance. It's whoever executes from now until the last 10. If we execute and do our job, then we have a good chance. If we don't, then someone else will.
Well, you certainly did that yesterday. Congratulations to all concerned, and thanks for taking time for us tonight.
All right, man. Thank you.
That's Jeff Burton. With that, we need a commercial break. We'll come back on the other side and review the Saturday activity and the RCR sweep of the Monster Mile. And we'll head out to check out the new surface of Las Vegas. Mike Skinner likes it. NASCAR Busch Series highlights from Saturday. Scott Riggs starting on pole.
Lots of highlights. It depends on what you show, but
Casey Atwood will be first to make the highlight, or in this case, the low light reel.
oh, it was so close to a save.
Saved it several times before he wrecked it. And then
He still did a good job of minimizing damage.
There's Denny Hamlin off 4.
And it's not that hard to do that at Dover. You see that a lot. Coming out of there, coming out of that hill, the car gets light, you get loose, and it's really hard to save.
That might be why Denny started feeling bad.
On the inside, the 8-car, Martin Truex Jr. We will see a lot of the 8-car in this highlight reel. That's around Riggs for the lead.
The 8 and the 9.
Traitor, look out!
Truex has always run pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
at
I
Dover.
remember this point.
Truex on the
Wow.
outside,
I was
Murray
thinking,
on the inside.
that Truex, he's pretty brave.
Shane Huffman, blown right front.
Easy, easy, easy. Ah, good.
Didn't hit it though.
Not so good.
Oh, my gosh.
When did all that happen?
Where'd that come from?
I was curious about that too.
Look at there, 3 wide.
Oh, that didn't work.
I had a good view for that.
Jay
knew
Sauter
that
and
was
John
coming.
Wood.
Kyle really wanted in that hole. You know, a lot of times if you show that you really want in there, everybody else will back off.
Yeah.
But I don't think
And
the
then
rest
again,
of the group-
sometimes.
32 to go. That's your top 6. Matt Kenseth passing Truex for the lead. That's a good race.
Ah, beautiful.
22 to go. Clint Boyer shows some strength in the 2.
What about
Matt Kenseth was good both days, but just not quite enough to beat the RCR cars.
he had a flat tire, he said.
But he had oil.
No, that's right. He had all blowing out
Oil
of his.
cooler crack blowing on his right front.
And that gives you a restart with 2 to go. Boyer will hold off Kenseth and Harvick. Great restart.
Oh, great racetrack. Now that's just crazy. He almost made it to the finish.
We did.
Great point.
We just need another car.
That was a hard hit.
That was a hard
That
hit.
was-
You know,
that was
there's
gonna ring
not a
the bell
safer
right there.
barrier on the front
Oh,
straightaway.
look at this. This is neat. Hey, how about this, guys? I did good. Look at
I'm
this.
doing
Hey,
great.
oh,
Wait a
shoot.
minute.
Whoa, I got to put this baby's going away.
Got a little work yet to do. So Boyer wins, and what is the RCR streak now?
5 in a row between Busch and Cup. We decided during break. Now, if that's not
That's
correct,
an assumption.
Boy, and Clint's sure doing his part, both cars. He's doing good.
Yep.
yeah, he finished top 10 on 7 cylinders on
Yes.
Sunday.
They've definitely got their stuff together.
They definitely do.
15th for Schrader. Let's give him a call there. Oh, wait.
Mikey was top 10.
We missed Michael with a top 10. How'd we do that?
That's okay.
Oh, well.
I drove the Cotman Transmissions car. Terry Bradshaw makes those commercials where he gets stuff on his face.
Set almost a 700-point lead for the NASCAR Busch Series standing.
Did you know that if we were reverted back to the old system in Cup, Matt would have a 170-point lead, and fourth would be like 500 points behind?
Everybody from
Yes.
6th back on that list has been mathematically eliminated. Yikes. Let's go to the truck highlights. Went out to Las Vegas. They've reworked the racetrack. Mike Skinner has his 6th pole of the year, but at this point has not yet won a race. Well, at that point, not this point.
No, he's won one now.
This is Chad McCumbee.
He always runs good, Chad does.
Blowed up. Bobby Hamilton Jr. blown right front.
We saw the track get real wide, double groove.
What a fun
Very
track.
quick.
What a fun race to watch on speed Saturday night.
All lit up.
Johnny Benson, I believe, is going to be next in the highlight reel. He's short on gears,
Just 2.
leaving slowly.
They're all in there. They're just not working.
Well, 3rd and 4th were okay. It's just hard to get to 3rd from stop.
He got his pit stops over and then never went back to pit road, and that's why he's able to get a good, solid finish.
One thing, if you'll notice there, too, they curved pit road to bring it out a little bit closer to the fans as well.
That's Pete Shepard in the 6th car. He's spun out.
When you look at the truck, Dave, when you look at that track with the cars on it, it looks a whole lot like Charlotte.
How about this guy, Chase Miller? 2nd start, qualified 3rd, was in the top 10 till it blew up. That's not bad. Hornaday taking the lead.
Hornaday, it just makes me mad that he's better than everybody.
On the outside.
I mean, he's better than everybody. It starts. How can he be so good?
How
Well, he wasn't
often?
better than Musgrave
let me
right
ask you
there.
this: how often do you see somebody pass for the lead on the outside on a brand new racetrack?
That
You don't.
Their first racetrack.
You don't.
First race. That says a lot for that track.
That does. Says a whole lot.
Mike Skinner around Musgrave takes the top spot, and as noted, after 6 times on the pole, he wins one.
And after it sits till we go back out there in March, it'll even just be a little better.
Just a little bit better.
It'll be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of past championships in that top 5.
Marcus Ambrose and Craig Kissinger also in that top 10.
And Almirola as well. Good
And
for
Ambrose.
the rookies.
He's good. I like that cat. He went to Bristol. They don't have a Bristol in Australia. He was fast.
Championship standings. Benson taking a bite out of 12th place finisher Todd Bodine's point lead. Benson finishing 2nd despite the shortage of gears. Let's see. Picture of the week. Yeah, we'll give you one more shot at it, Burton fans. Go to the IMC page at speedtv.com and use the email link or send us an email, put picture on the subject line. Congratulations, Jay Hamilton in Canada, who won the Kevin Harvick picture, and we will be right back.
Nextel Cup is presented by Nextel. Get closer to the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series with Nextel, only from Sprint. And brought to you in part by Parts Plus, America's family of auto parts stores and service centers.
The boys are admiring the picture over here. We have a minute left to say something profound.
I think we should take that
I
picture
doubt
and
that's gonna
give it to Matt or Jeff. Or Jeff, actually.
I don't think Matt would want it.
No.
No.
Yeah.
But it's nice of him to do that. They had a great battle.
That was a good battle among competitors. A fair battle.
Fair battle.
And friends.
Friendly
A
battle.
lot of respect.
Yep.
Yeah, all that stuff that Schrader and I are still searching for.
Well, a lot of guys I got. Well, never mind.
I just want to say I'm looking forward to going to Kansas this weekend. I get to drive the bright green Garnier Fruit Teas car again.
Looking forward to going to Kansas City. We're going to run the
Silver Crown car on Friday?
no, but I'm going to dirt race Wednesday at Heartland Park, Topeka, and Thursday at Knoxville.
Perfect.
All
I'm
right.
going to watch. We're working with a kid named Josh Wise, who's a USAC racer. Drives for Tony. He's going to do some stuff with us next year. And he's racing Friday in the Silver Crown car is the Silver Crown?
Yeah.
Yeah, at Kansas. And then I'm racing too, so sorry.
In the